Imagine being handed one of the most advanced EV batteries on the planet, and your job is to take it apart. You've got your tools ready, or you think you do. You've done this more than 20 times before with other battery packs. You know what you're doing, or at least it would appear you do. But this time is different, very different. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. If you need assistance deciding what electric car to buy, then you can book me in for 1 hour. I'll put a link in the description below to our booking page. So, Blade Battery. This time, right, you freeze it for 40 hours just to have a chance to open it. You grind, cut, and hammer for 8 straight hours. And when it's all over, you declare it the hardest thing you have ever disassembled. That's exactly what happened when a Chinese teardown team got their hands on BYD's second generation Blade Battery, and what they found inside raises some serious questions that every EV buyer needs to hear. So, first, let's talk about what makes this battery so special, because the hype for this new Blade Battery is genuinely deserved. BYD's second generation Blade Battery is a masterpiece of engineering, according to some experts. It uses long, narrow lithium iron phosphate cells packed so tightly and cleverly that the cells themselves become structural elements of the pack. No traditional modules, the cells are the structure. The result, a pack that weighs around 572 kilograms, holds 170 cells, connected in series, and is capable of megawatt level charging speeds. Megawatt level means 1000 kilowatt. It's currently just the fastest charging battery in the world that you can actually get in an EV. Very, very close behind, or very, very close, almost next to it, though, is Geely's new LFP battery. Now, I compared those two batteries to each other in a separate video. I'll put a link in the description below. BYD's battery is not only very intelligent in its design, it's also extraordinarily safe. The teardown team ground it, hammered it, and put it through an 8mm nail penetration test. There was no fire, no explosion, no nothing. I don't know about you, but I'd be a bit scared doing this, grinding away at a battery, knowing what has happened before in the past with batteries when you do this kind of thing. On the Electric Viking website, I'll put a link in the description below. We have more articles about electric cars and battery technology than any other website that I'm aware of in the world. So check that out. Link is in the description. And there you'll find our videos and analysis and articles about everything going on in the EV world. The safety record, by the way, isn't accidental. BYD uses a refrigerant-based direct cooling system instead of liquid coolant. Refrigerant changes phase to pull heat away from the cells. It's more efficient, lower cost, and one of the reasons that this pack can handle ultra-fast charging without cooking itself. That said, during ultra-fast charging, it does get very hot, up to 71 degrees Celsius, which was previously considered too hot for a battery. But because of the way BYD makes these cells, it's not. By any engineering measure, this is genuinely world-class technology. So how did the teardown actually go? Well, the team, who have previously dismantled over 20 different battery packs, they actually streamed the entire thing live on Chinese social media platform Weibo. And from the start, it was brutal. The biggest challenge was the structural adhesive. Tesla has received a lot of heat for the structural adhesive it uses in 4680 battery packs. But what BYD uses is actually kind of similar, in fact, really similar. BYD has used glue, and lots of it, bonded around the modules, the bus bars, the battery tabs, even the signal wiring. The adhesive is part of what makes the pack so strong and crash resistant. But it also makes it almost impossible to take the battery apart without destroying things. So this is the same as Tesla's battery cell, 4680 battery packs. If there's a problem with the battery, some of the cells, you're probably not going to try and replace them. You're probably just going to replace the entire battery pack. Normally, you'd use heat or chemical solvents to loosen adhesive. But here's the problem. You can't safely apply heat or chemicals near live battery cells. So the team froze the entire pack in cold storage for 40 hours, hoping, just hoping, the cold would make the adhesive brittle enough to crack it. But even after the freeze, it still took 8 hours of grinding, cutting, and destructive disassembly to actually get inside. The internal structure they found was fascinating. There was a ladder-shaped reinforcement frame dividing the pack into sections with high-voltage compartments at the front and the rear, and an integrated battery management system designed to reduce overall complexity. Pack level energy density came in at around 132 watt hours per kilogram. Cell level energy density came in at 180 watt hours per kilo, which is a bit less than BYD's claims of 192 watt hours per kilo. But the pack integration efficiency is extremely high at 73.6%, which is actually quite impressive. But here's where things get uncomfortable. The Teardown team raised a question that the EV industry really doesn't want to talk about. What happens when one of these packs needs to be repaired? We've had the same questions around Tesla's 4680 packs as well. Right now, most EV manufacturers, not just BYD, are moving toward highly integrated battery structures. The pack becomes part of the floor, part of the vehicle's chassis. It's great for weight, range, and stiffness and efficiency, but it's a nightmare for repairability. If you get into a collision and damage the pack, an independent repair shop would face an 8-hour teardown just to access it. They probably wouldn't do it. It sounds too complex to me. Let's assume they could even figure out where to start anyway as well. And because the adhesive makes cell level replacement extremely difficult, in most cases the entire pack would just need to be swapped out. That means there will be higher insurance premiums, just like you see on Teslas. More expensive crash repairs, and a growing mountain of battery packs that are incredibly difficult to recycle at the end of life. Although they will be able to be recycled, it'll just cost more to recycle them. The Teardown team drew a direct comparison to Monroe Live's famous teardown of Tesla's 4680 pack, which famously uses pink foam to fill structural voids, creating similar serviceability headaches. Guys, this is actually becoming an industry-wide pattern, not just a BYD or Tesla issue. Here's the irony though. BYD has designed one of the safest, most energy-dense, most advanced battery packs on the planet. The very features that make it brilliant also make it the hardest to fix. That said, I should mention, both Tesla and BYD in most places worldwide have an 8-year warranty on the batteries. That's a pretty long time. So it's Tesla and BYD that are the most likely parties to actually have to pay if the batteries need fixing. Now, the Teardown team did face some pushback. BYD supporters accused them of deliberately damaging the pack or manipulating the temperature testing. The team addressed this directly. They confirmed the cooling plate remained intact throughout and that a heater was only used earlier to discharge the battery before testing began. This is standard methodology. They've torn down 20 other battery packs before. This is what, they did similar things on each pack. I've got to tell you guys, brand fans can be incredibly stupid. And usually their arguments are just more of an emotional thing rather than logical. It's worth noting, this story broke just days after a Chinese court ordered a separate automotive blogger to pay $293,000 US in compensation to BYD over unverified claims. In other words, BYD sued them and they're forced to pay $300,000. So the environment around EV criticism in China is getting pretty tense. But the repairability question isn't actually criticism. It's a legitimate air engineering trade-off that the entire industry, will need to reckon with. We as consumers want cheaper cars, longer range, and better safety and faster charging. They're things that everyone wants. Automakers are delivering all three of them and getting better at it. But the bill might just be due later if batteries need fixing in the future and, they're more than 8 years old and they can't be. They need to be replaced. That said, battery pack prices are actually coming down every year. So replacing a battery today is nowhere near as expensive as it used to be. Guys, if you found this video useful, please subscribe or share it with someone else. I cover EV news from Australia, New Zealand, the United States, China, Europe as well. And I've now done more than 8,500 videos in the past 5 years. Thanks for watching. Thinking about getting solar, a home battery, or an EV charger? Check out Australia's best free comparison tool because it could save you a lot of money. Guys, click on the link below in the description and you can see how much you can save. Alternatively, give Resync a call. They are the guys who installed my battery and my home solar. I'll put a link to them as well in the description.